predominantly the highest percentage that you're going to hear in objections, you will certainly get people that you're like, did you ever meet with that agent? And did that agent ever get those options over to you? And they're going to be like, no, I never met with anybody. Okay, great. Well, it's my job to get these options to you, and you just roll right into getting the qualification form filled out of any minor illnesses, any major illnesses, medications, things like that. But
you said the third one was the I've already met with someone?
And it's too expensive.
Okay.
And so each of those has their own response, right? But like the response of, or when you hear somebody say, I'm not interested. If I'm getting a lot of I'm not interested, I find that it's me. I sound like a telemarketer.
Right.
If I'm getting a lot of people that are hanging up on me, or I'm not interested, or I can't take time right now, it's my tone of voice. I'm not in control. I sound like I'm reading. I sound like a telemarketer. Like I want to sell them something.
Yeah.
When I switch that up and I start taking a very direct tone of, I'm calling from the Mortgage Protection Department for your mortgage with Quicken Loans. Back when you closed on the most recent loan, you filled this out. You sent it in to us. I see that we assigned you an agent, but I don't have any updates in my system after that. So did you ever meet with that agent, and did they ever get you those options for coverage? If somebody's telling me they're not interested at that point in time, like I sound like a telemarketer, because that's a very easy setup for somebody to be like, oh yeah, I met with them already, or no, I didn't meet with them already.
Right.
So if somebody says I'm not interested, the first thing is I gotta recognize how am I coming into the call. And the second thing is the response to that, the rebuttal to that, that's the most effective is, well, at one point in time, you filled out this form and you mailed it in. And that takes a pretty significant amount of effort to fill out this form and mail it in. So you were really interested in this at one point. What changed between then and now that makes you feel like you don't need this coverage? That's the hardest one. Is the I'm not interested is the hardest one, because usually when you're getting it, you haven't started off with the trust because you sound like a telemarketer.
Yeah.
And so like it's harder to pull them out of that abyss, with the logic of like, well, hey, you filled this out at one point. What changed? So that's the response. The response to I already got that taken care of, right? The best response to that is perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling. I want to update our system here, right? Think of me like the inspector. It's my job to go through and double check the agent's work and to make sure that the agent gave you the best option possible for your coverage. A lot of times agents get paid on commission, and they may not have looked everywhere, or they may have just suggested the option to you that was going to pay them the most commission.
Right.
But there may be a better option for you. So I'm going to go through about 30 to 40 different companies, and I'm going to just double check and make sure that it's the best option for you. If I find something that's only going to save you $5 or $10, we're not even going to bother with it. But if I find something that's going to save you a significant amount of money, a few $100s a year, then ethically I'm required to offer it to you.
Right.
And so, if you lay that in properly, nobody's going to say no to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy thing to be like, oh, okay. So then I go through and I set the appointment in the same way, or I get the qualifications in the same way. I'm going to confirm their medication and their medical conditions and their age, and if they smoke, and if, their occupation and where they work and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, past that, then I'm going to ask them about the coverage they got. So when that agent came out, do you remember, what company the coverage was with? Oh, it was with America. Oh, it was with Mutual of Omaha. Okay. Do you remember the face amount or the death benefit? If you were to pass away, how much money would you get? $100,000. Okay. And do you know, approximately what the monthly cost was on it? Like $45. If it's pretty wide, if they're like, oh, 40, 50 bucks, okay, is it closer to 50 or is it closer to 40? Is it 41 or is it, 49? Because if we can save them $7 and then we come back to them and go like, look, I'm going to save you 80 bucks a year. And over the next 30 years, you know what I mean? Like that's going to be $500, $600 that I'm going to save you, or, $1,000 that I'm going to save you. Then, maybe they jump for it. Maybe they want it.
Yeah.
So we want to get that information down. And then usually when I'm booking the appointment, what I say is, look, I have not gone and looked at the carriers. I don't even know if there's any better options for you. I like to assume that the agent who wrote that policy for you did everything the right way, and that there isn't going to be anything that I'll be able to save you. But if there is, then I need to meet with you and your wife, or with you and your husband. I need to explain the option to you and obviously help you, transfer into that product. So what's the best time if I was to find something for you? What's the best time for me to come by and spend 15 minutes doing that? Obviously, if there isn't anything, I'm going to call you and say, hey, there's nothing. You got a great product. Stick with that. But if there is, then I'll need to put you on my calendar for the time that's best for you guys typically. And that's how I'll set the appointment. Okay. And almost always there's going to be a better option than what they have. So I'm almost always going to be going to those appointments.
Yeah, I know Miranda was saying that, she talked to somebody and they said that they got everything taken care of. And, she said that she wanted to sit down with them, pretty much like you were just saying. And then she went over there, and the husband, he had cancer, and they only had an accidental death policy. And so they didn't even know
people don't know what they have. And people a lot of times think they have something that they don't have. And a lot of times agents don't explain what they're giving people. And so like there's a lot of things that could happen. But, ultimately, like the deal is that I don't want to tell them that over the phone. And I can tell you right now, the rebuttal response that Miranda Martin uses for that rebuttal in Aces on the Phone is about a 10% successful rebuttal. And the one that I just gave for you is about a 50 to 60% successful rebuttal.
Do you have your rebuttals like typed up that I can have as well?
Sure, but you're going to get a recording of this. Keith's going to send it to you, and you can just listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
If you go the route of, okay, well, I need to do a policy review with you, and I'm going to see if there's something better. If I could save you money, wouldn't that be beneficial for you? Wouldn't you want to look at that? Now you're a salesperson, and you get into that you're putting yourself in the position of being a telemarketer, and people will shut you down 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But if you come from the angle of, hey, this is my job, this is what I have to do, I'm kind of like the inspector, there's no option, right? I need to companies, and I'm going to see meet with you, and the only time that I'm going to even bother you with it is if it's going to save you a significant amount of money for the same coverage you have. Then you're not going to get as many people that push back against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can definitely write that out for you and kind of have you do it. But the best thing for you is going to be understanding the goal, understanding how I say it, and then basically communicating it in your own words so that you remember and you can explain it effectively. It doesn't sound like you're reading it.
Yeah.
So that's for the second rebuttal, which is I already got that taken care of. The third rebuttal, which is I already met with somebody and it's too expensive, you'll get a significant amount of. And that rebuttal that I usually come back with is, great, that's exactly why I'm calling. I'm going to update the system here. Do you remember when they came and met with you, did they show you the A options, the B options, and the C option? Or do they only just show you one set of options? And almost unilaterally, you'll get people to be like, I don't remember. They just showed me one set of options. And that's the response that you want. And so I respond with, or you should respond with, great, well, look, I've never had a situation where we haven't been able to put some coverage in place on somebody because it wasn't affordable. Now, sometimes it's not as much coverage as you were originally thinking, but, most of the time I can find stuff that fits within people's budget. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look through all the sets of options, and I'm going to see if there's something that makes a little bit more sense for you. I look through about 30 to 40 different companies. A lot of times agents only look through one company, or they look through maybe 2 to 3, but I'm going to look through a lot more. And, look, I'll find something that fits in your budget. And so then as you're kind of taking their information, you're going to also want to get what did that other agent show them. And you're going to want to say, look, if I'm looking through these and we don't find something that fits within your budget or something that's different than what that agent showed you, we're not going to bother, coming to take your time, right? Like if we find something that can work for you and, is cheaper and is affordable, great. We'll set up an appointment. We'll come in with you.
Got it.
So those are the 3 that you're going to get more than any of the other ones. And if somebody tells you, call me back, right? Oh, can you call me back at another time? Right? Like, obviously, that's a rebuttal that you'll get fairly consistently, and you can just say, I only got about 30 seconds of questions. I'm going to knock them out real quick and put these together for you, and then just proceed on down the question,
Okay.
My gut feeling personally is that if somebody answers the phone, they're not too busy to answer your questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if somebody picks up the phone, even if you dial them 3 times, if they pick up the phone, they can take 30 seconds to a minute to answer the questions that you need and to set an appointment.
Right. That makes sense.
So I would, that's how I would operate it. So that's that's at least where I would start. Is start with those rebuttals. Don't worry about all the rest of them. It's kind of pointless for you to memorize, 15 or 20 rebuttals when you're not going to hear those, most often. You'll need them at some point, and you should go back and after you feel comfortable with these 4, these 3 or 4, go back and learn the other one. But for right now,
I'll probably just keep the rebuttal sheet next to me so that way when I'm calling, obviously I'll memorize these ones and, I'll look at the other ones and try to memorize, those ones as well and maybe do that later. But I'll just make sure that I keep the lead sheet or the rebuttal sheet by me so that way if something does, pop up, I'm prepared for it.
For sure, yeah. And this is I wish there was a way for you to just like be able to read this and study this and memorize it and like philosophize about it and learn it, but there's not. The only way to learn it is by doing it and getting in, understanding the speed of it. It's like you can watch as many YouTube videos you want about how to swing a golf club and like the best way to play the game of golf and the strategy. But until you actually get out there and you feel like a club in your hands, and you feel swinging it, and you see where a ball's going and like all that stuff, there's just no way for you to actually understand and get better at it.
Right.
So you're gonna have to bump your head. You're gonna have to go through some failure, and you're gonna have to go through some growing pains and push through it. But I don't know anybody, and I've never heard
Your phone's cutting out.
just like being able to read up on this or like study up on this and immediately be good on the phone. It's going to take some perseverance. I'm getting comfortable with it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You there? Anybody? Somebody?
I can hear you.
You there?
Can you guys hear me?
Hello? I got full bars here. Chief, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You guys can't hear me?
I can hear you, Jamie.
Okay. I don't know what was mine. It shows on the bottom that the
Okay.
bars are red. I don't know if they're supposed to be like that.
No, you're
Yeah.
fine. It's him.
I
He's
can
logging
hear
in
you.
now.
Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, you're just cutting in and out when you.
I got anyway.
You there? There you go.
I thought that was mine for. Oh, now it pops up and it says. Oh, it was saying that his was red. I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got the general gist of what he was saying, right?
Yeah, I got all that. So, I know you showed me like the dialer before and stuff like that, but I'm gonna need a walkthrough of that to see, you know, how to use it. And I think, have a headset somewhere that I can use as well. So.
Okay, yeah, I got to get back into it. I was just listening to you guys and looking at the power dialer and the leads and stuff, and for some reason, it looks I had it and now I don't have it, so could be because they switched systems that I need to rebuy it.
Oh, okay.
3 minutes. It says I have it. Maybe it's, let me look, VM dot, there you go. Dialer. Here, hold on. There you go. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in here, so it looks like it's all been restarted.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
He's back.
All right.
All right. So what's the deal?
No, we're just opening the power dialer, and I haven't been in here in a while. And since they restarted, you know, like, or whatever they announced at conference, because it looks like I don't have a dialer account.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Every time I used to log in, it would have like the little.
Yeah, go up to the right-hand side, the little upper right-hand corner with that little logo,
Yeah, here.
and click on it, and then Insurance Dialer Login. Then you just need to do the new agreement. Scroll down. There you go.
Okay. I'll have to play
So
around.
you're gonna email and Keith. You and I can work on this later today.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. He went out again. He's calling me. Hold on.
Okay.
Hello? Right. Okay. Okay.
But what you may want to show her is there's a video, like a walkthrough, there's an insurance dialer walkthrough.
Mm-hmm.
You may want to show her that so that she can just like get an understanding of how to work it, what the buttons mean, stuff like that. The video.
Is it?
I think it's on the left-hand side there.
Yeah, in the virtual mentor it is.
Watching that video is probably good for her to get how to use the dialer. And the auto dial function does not work for California right now because California has strict auto dialer laws.
Okay.
So if you want auto dialer to work, you actually have to go into the export leads and you have to change all the states to Arizona or to another state in order for the auto dialer to work. Otherwise, she's just going to be using click to dial the whole time.
I see.
Which isn't bad because she'll probably want to click the dial when she first starts anyway.
I see. Okay. Let me find this tutorial for her and then go from there. Anything else?
Not right now. I'm going to pull up a disappointment to get these things signed, and then I'll be available a little bit later to go over any stuff we need to go over.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, cool.
Okay, bye. Okay, let's get into this YouTube here. So Jamie, I'm sending you the link to the YouTube.
Okay.
When I send it to your phone, are you able to move it onto your computer easily?
Yeah, I should be able to. I can like email it to myself if I have to.
Oh, then I'll just do that myself.
I usually just watch the stuff on my phone anyway. And then take notes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I just sent it to both.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop the recording.